I think patience is very, very important. It's something you just have to build up. Like, it will take time for you to keep calm in situations, but know that that is also quite crucial in how you engage with the person with dementia. Hey guys, I'm Munah Bagharib.
I'm Ziyad Bagharib.
And today we are going to share our experiences and journey as caregivers for a person with dementia.
Also, we are siblings.
Yeah. Just to be clear. So we are caregiving for our mother, whom we call Mum Ray. And I think the first time we found out about her diagnosis was in
2017.
Yeah, 2017.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
We had noticed she was undergoing certain changes since maybe a couple of years before that, I want to say. But it wasn't something that we really consciously thought about. I mean, she always had some tendencies to forget things, forget names, misplace things, so it didn't feel so unusual.
Yeah, and I guess it was pretty normal because everyone forgets name, mistakes something, but then it just got to a point where she was calling a chair a door, for example, and that was a bit more obvious, the change in her.
I think one of the important moments of realization for me was when one time we broke a lock in the house. And then we went to change that lock, but she got very confused and thought all the locks in the house were now using different keys. That was kind of an alarm bell. I asked her if she was worried that she was forgetting more than usual and if she wanted to see a doctor. And she said she's willing to do that. So first we saw a GP. Also, that was based on advice from people, I guess. They said, you go and see a GP, they'll do some preliminary tests and then they'll give you a referral to a specialist. During the checkup with that specialist, they put her through some basic tests where she was made to do math and drawing and recalling words and things like this. There was one exercise where they asked her to name as many animals as she could in 1 minute, and she said cat, dog, and then she froze. And for her, that was also the first time she confronted the reality that, she's undergoing some change. And then we went to see a dementia specialist, and that was the first time she got the diagnosis.
You never realized that it would happen or it would be so close to home until it actually did. I've always been pretty close to her. I still am. I try to also keep having the conversations I had with her last time now, because she still wants to be very much involved in my life. So I still talk to her about dating and all that, because that was the big thing that I used to talk to her about. So she's always interested. And it's funny because there was once I'm talking to someone now and I'm look, say hi. And, hey, it's a different one. I'm no, it's the same. She's always been really sharp, super quick, and just funny. She's very lighthearted.
She's very jovial and very cheerful,
And she's still that, and that's what I'm happy about.
She maybe has a quiet sass, but she'll only reveal her sass to us. But all in all, I think she carries herself with a lot of joy and a lot of cheer. She used to be an excellent pianist.
I was going to say that. Okay. She was off it for many years, she stopped, but because since her diagnosis, we thought okay, music is something that really helps with the situation, and now she's back on it. So it's just kind of incredible to see that come back into her life. Yes, going to see doctors, it definitely helped us in gaining more awareness on what to do, but it's also about learning how to make my mom happy, keep her comfortable, keep her happy, keep her believing in herself. At the start, it was really, really difficult to accept. It was just what is going on? Why is this happening? Why is there so much that needs to be changed? Or what else do we do to help it? But it's just, I think I looked at it in a very negative way. I was very confused, I was very lost.
I think we all didn't know how to react, I guess. I think we were all just kind of stupefied by this piece of news. It was a piece of news that seemed to have a lot of meaning, but none of us could make sense of what that meaning really was. You know what I mean?
But now, like Ziyad said, it has taken a natural progression. It feels a lot more I'm at ease. The focus is now just being happy with her, because I see how happy she still is now compared to the first few years when we were stressing her out. The first one said that it was
frontotemporal dementia.
Yeah. And that's what we move forward with, because us coming from no knowledge, we obviously listened to that and we were like, okay, maybe there's a specific way to handle this type of dementia.
We also did an MRI scan. Yeah. So that MRI scan followed us through the process of seeing other doctors too, because we could just bring that scan and say, hey, look, what do you think? You know, I remember in the beginning, we just felt like we had to overhaul everything. I think we had to overhaul our lives and like shape new schedules and like build new routines.
Yes.
We came up with this
had
like
an
Google
Excel
calendar,
sheet.
also an Excel sheet.
We had like a timetable of when to
do what
activities.
exercises with her and stuff like that.
We didn't realize how stressful it was for her.
Exactly,
so when we like forced activities for her to do, and you could see her getting more and more insecure the more she couldn't do things.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was frustrating for us, frustrating for her. And that's why we thought like, you know what, there must be a different way to do it so that we don't cause her any more anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Where it kind of turned for me the most was when we saw this current doctor. Actually, I asked you to ask her like how to communicate with my mom the best way possible, because we were still going through that phase where, you know, if she did something wrong, we were like, oh no, don't do this, you know. But what the doctor said was, you know what, just roll with it, be in her world, let her still converse with you, just so she feels like she's a part of it. And I think that's the most important lesson for me.
She did explicitly say one time, like, you all must learn to be good actors. She said that, I don't know if you were there, but she said that. She was like, yeah, maybe if she puts the thing in the wrong place, you just like take it away, but not when she sees it, you know, you just like, you know, just pretend that she did it exactly as you would do it, and then just go along with it.
It definitely did change my outlook of life in many ways, and one of them is to just wake up. At the end of the day, like the focus or the priority is always my mom, or has always been my mom, and I just need to make some changes according to that.
I think like what you said, the relationship didn't change in any like drastic way, but there's just like new elements in the relationship lah. Yeah, I think a huge dimension of the early days of becoming a caregiver was feeling guilty lah. I think I had a lot of caregivers guilt, and like yes, a lot of this caregivers guilt is like stuff that you know in your mind is irrational, but you can't rationalize it away.
Yeah, but you can't help but like still feel it and think about it.
Yeah, when I realized she couldn't even do mental sums, when I realized she couldn't like spell her name or like tell the date or stuff like this, I would feel guilty for being able to do those things. When I like look at a receipt and I can like add the numbers together, like I feel guilty for being able to do that, because I feel like why should I be able to do this, and like why should that ability be taken away from her? Like I had these kinds of feelings, and like I said, like it's super irrational. It doesn't help anybody, but it's just there, you know. And I think I had to do a lot of work to get those things out of my system, and it's still not like gone, you know. It's still sometimes there, still creeps up.
My guilt was more about whether I could have done anything to not let it happen. The first day like I got the diagnosis, I remember it just kept playing in my mind like, oh, what could I have done? There were so many things I regret, but there is also no point in having to look in the past and say like, it's like my fault, like I didn't do enough of this, I didn't do enough of this. But what's the point of doing that when at the end of the day with dementia also, it's all about moving forward? The experience of caring for her can sometimes be kind of repetitive. It can kind of involve a lot of the same kind of thing happening over and over again, and that just sometimes like makes me feel really tired, you know. I'm just kind of like going through the motions sometimes, not really paying attention to being a positive presence around her, you know, this kind of thing. And then I get frustrated at myself, you know. So if I need time to myself, then I'm gonna take time to myself. If I've already like scheduled it there to say, okay, today is piano with mama, and I feel like, okay, I'm a bit tired, I kind of don't want to do that, then okay, I'll do it tomorrow, and that's fine. It's okay. Because I mean, just from my experience also, the more you push yourself and you're not in the right frame of mind, it affects her a lot, and she obviously can read how you're speaking to her, how you're handling the situation, and what's the point of getting her more and more anxious, So like taking time to yourself is also important. You need to know that how you feel is absolutely valid at this point. So sometimes you just need to recharge and then come back, because you do need to be that source of positivity for her. For me, like one of the myths is, and I discovered this because like when I was speaking to my friends about it, as soon as I say like, oh yeah, my mother has dementia, they immediately think like, oh, has she forgotten you? That was the basic thing of what we knew of dementia, right? So like I would say that was what I knew of it too. But I think what people don't see is that there's so much to someone going through dementia, rather than just, like losing your memory. There are also so many things that you have to go through, and that caregivers have to understand.
There's no set model of how dementia enacts itself on a person's life, and therefore there's no set approach to dealing with it. And I think between the caregivers and the person with dementia, you have to just figure out this particular person's needs, the particular caregiver's capabilities also.
And that's why one of the resources was Dementia Singapore. I think with Dementia Singapore, so there were things about educating yourself on dementia itself, and also finding out like different centers or different resources that they also provide, that we also found like later on as we spoke to doctors. The reason why I decided I want to be part of Dementia Singapore is solely because I want to be part of building the community. Because when I first started to open up about what we're going through as a family a few years back, like I've had people speak to me, like complete strangers speak to me about their stories, their experiences, and it's nice to be able to have someone to talk to be able to share and learn from each other. So I think that's very important.
I think about like the idealistic vision of what a dementia inclusive society could look like. And I think Singapore's like working on it. Even people with dementia have had entire lives where they've been beautiful and whole people with these stories and talents and loves and passions that you can still see. It's still there. But as a caregiver, I think it's very important to reach out to people you trust and love. Because I think the experience of being a caregiver can be overwhelming. And if you don't have people you trust that you can just speak your mind to, you might feel very isolated, you might feel very alone.
While you're being with the person with dementia, I think patience is very, very important. It's something you just have to build up. Like it will take time for you to, keep calm in situations, but know that is also quite crucial in how you engage with the person with dementia. Hi, Moran!
It's us.
It's us on the video. What I want to tell you is that you've been my pillar of support through and through, and we're always there for you. We believe in you, and you're as amazing as ever and beautiful.
We love you very, very much, and let's drink the coffee now.
Bye. Love you.